All right, now before we start, let's start the car and see if it improves a little the consumption. All right. Let's see. Well, I guess nothing happens regarding the consumption. Some movement there, but it doesn't show me the consumption idle, which I wanted to. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I need to give it a little bit of gas and put some miles on it, kilometers, whatever. Alright, so 7.2. It's a little bit shaky, but you know, from my experience, if you want to decarb the engine and stuff like that, you have to rev it and give it some gas. So I'm gonna rev it a little, give it some gas, and now I'm gonna, as in my previous video, I'm gonna get you guys with a result. I know what my consumption is for some weeks now. I haven't used any cleaner very recently, from what I can remember. So anyway, if the consumption goes down, that means that the cleaner did something. And if it doesn't, and hopefully it doesn't raise my consumption, then I guess that the engine will be theoretically clean. So yeah, we'll test it out and we'll see. I don't think that, checking the spark plugs will have any effect on it, because I know that they are pretty recent, so there isn't any problem regarding it. Also, the air filter was changed last year and it's clean, and I would say it's fairly clean. I used I think it was a man filter, or anyway a quality filter, not that cheap shit Chinese or whatever filters you may find. As I said, used what the manufacturer recommends in terms of petrol or gas, as you guys from America may call it. which is 95 RON, and I don't use 98 or 100, which is here in Europe, which is the premium one, as I said, because I used it and I didn't see any improvement in let's say, I don't know, few years back, like 3 to 4 years, I don't know. Yes, the engine was a little more peppy, a little bit fast when I used the higher octane, but in terms of, I don't know, fuel consumption and such, I think it didn't really help, because from what I've seen, these modern day cars which have a computer that in general regulates the fuel to air mixture, if it detects that something is changed or something is bad, it will basically compensate. So in general it will stick to the values that the car came with from the factory, that the ECU was programmed and the computer of the car. So basically, if you don't have a big ass engine that requires premium gas, and I looked at the fuel cap, so it basically says something about 91 to 93 roll, which basically translates to around 95 RON. So it's basically the same shit. This car was manufactured in Germany. I'm not from Germany, so maybe they use some different metrics and different measurements regarding it. Most of the cars here, drive 95, only the ones that have like a turbo or I don't know 1.8 turbo, 2 liter and above, may use the premium, may require the premium gas and stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, this is not something very scientific and something I don't know, in a very controlled environment and stuff like that, but it basically for the everyday driver, it can provide you some basic information if you need or if you don't need. There's these fuel additives. I personally would recommend you to use it once in a while, maybe not like every 2,000 kilometers or 3,000 or 5,000 or stuff like that. You can use it, I don't know, depending on how you drive and how you in general take care of your car and how you maintain it. You can use it like not that much, or basically if you know that you have a dirty engine, you can use it on every full tank. I guess it really doesn't help if it's polymer based, so it won't hurt the fuel pump and the engine and the injectors and stuff like that if you use it I don't know, at every 30, 40, 50 liters of fuel. So it's your decision, it's your intake. I make these videos because I really like it, and because I'm curious. As I said, I use STP twice. STP for petrol, as I said, or gas, whatever, gasoline, gas, petrol. Here in Europe we call it petrol. It's the European thing to say. I don't know why the fuck didn't everything use like kilometers or miles or ounces or grams or whatever. It's kind of retarded from my point of view. I think the world, every country should use the same metric system, so you don't have to convert miles to kilometers, grams to ounces and shit like that. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna probably be making a video regarding some oil additives, if it works, if it stops the oil consumption and things like that. Sadly, this one burns a little bit of oil. I used the castor oil from the dealership because I wanted to be, let's say, the original one and not some Turkish made shit or some fake shit. And it was pretty good, I would say, but for my taste it was it was a little bit thin, because I could hear the engine knocking, and I would see, and I could hear some different components of the engine, like a metallic engine, like something's not very right with it. So I wouldn't say that it was 100% of the oil's fault. Maybe it was a little bit too thin. Maybe the car, burns some oil and requires some valve stem seals replaced, or maybe the oil piston ring may be blocked. I'm not sure, because I haven't opened the engine and haven't really done anything to the engine. Haven't changed even the distribution for the engine, as it's called here in the EU, since I bought it about, I think it was about 4 years ago. Yeah, at 170,000 miles, and now I have around 180. Yeah, 183. So yeah, haven't done anything to it. The engine, as I said, I haven't changed the timing belt. It has the belt, not a chain, this one. Haven't changed the water pump, haven't changed the power steering fluid. I have it bought. I will change it. Don't know if I will make a video or I will get it to a mechanic to change the oil, but I will show you guys how it's done, how you can properly change it. Also, I'm gonna change the oil from the gearbox. Mine is a manual. Don't know the history if it was ever changed. Theoretically, this car has the original, let's say the original kilometers on it. It doesn't have the odometer, clocked back. So I'm hoping, for its age and for how it's drive, I think they are pretty much real. I am hoping. We'll see how it behaves. I'm gonna change, by the way, this uses a 75W90. You can use 75W80 if you have an Audi A4, for example, or a Volkswagen Passat, or a Golf with a manual transmission. You don't need to use that very expensive shit that the dealers sold you, which is the OEM. And I use Castrol because, from what I know, that is the OEM transmission fluid for this car, and in general for Volkswagen. I also heard that they changed to suppliers, and it may be Mobil 1. In general, I will also recommend that you use Red Light AMS oil, Royal Purple, Valvoline. There are Ineos, for example, which is Japan-made oil. In general, use some